Today is the third Sunday of Easter, and for 3 Sundays in a row, we've read Jesus appearing to the disciples. And this is a especially beautiful passage, in my opinion. And this homily, I want to walk with you through this beautiful gospel account that we just heard. How does the gospel begin? Simon Peter says, "Let's go fishing." And this may sound innocent, but I think there's a lot to unpack there. Let's go fishing. What did Peter used to do before he met Jesus? He was a fisherman. So what Peter is saying is, I want to go back to my old life. I want to do what I used to do before I met Jesus, because if you think about it, Peter had already experienced his failure. He denied Jesus 3 times. And though Jesus had appeared resurrected, Pentecost had not yet come. So it seems natural to me that Peter felt kind of disappointed in himself and perhaps lacking direction. So he says, let's go back to fishing. And look at what the other apostles say, 7 with him. They say, yeah, let's go fishing. Because I think there's a certain nostalgia in today's gospel, a kind of sadness, like, you know what, guys, maybe we just made a mistake. Let's go back to our old life. To make matters even worse, they go fishing and they fail miserably. They grab nothing. So not only did they fail with Jesus, but they go back to their old job and they fail again. Not only do they fail, but it says that they spend the whole night trying and they caught nothing. So I want you to put yourself in the feet of Peter and the apostles and to experience the sense of frustration. We're going back to our old thing and this doesn't even work. Now let's make matters even worse. 100 yards from them is Jesus. And nobody recognizes him. 8 people in the boat. Nobody recognized it was Jesus at first. You know why they don't recognize him? It's true. After he resurrected, he's not the same. But you know why they don't recognize him? Because when you're sad, when you're frustrated, when you failed, it's much harder to see that Jesus is present. And I think that the reason why they failed to see him, though he's only 100 yards away, is because their heart is full of sadness. Have you ever had that experience that because of your sadness, you failed to see Jesus close? Hasn't it happened to you that because you're frustrated, because you failed at something, because things didn't turn the way that you wanted, and you're frustrated, Jesus is 100 yards from you, 50 yards from you, 10 yards from you, and you can't see Jesus? John recognized him, that's true. So then what happens? John says, it's the Lord. They grab a lot of fish. They go to the shore. What do they find? Jesus has prepared charcoal, a bonfire. He has breakfast ready. Pancakes, scrambled eggs, and American bacon. He's prepared bread and fish, protein and carbohydrates. What is Jesus doing? Look at this. The apostles are tired. They are frustrated. They are nostalgic. He gives them rest. He provides the breakfast. It's true. They did the fishing with Jesus' help. But when they come to the shore, Jesus already has the breakfast ready. He already has everything going. Why? Because Jesus is the one who wants to give them rest from their frustration and sadness and tiredness. So this brings us to a beautiful question. Who do you turn to when you're frustrated? Who do you entrust your heart to when you feel sad? Do you turn to Netflix? Do you turn to social media? Do you turn to video games? Something else? Today is a beautiful reminder that when we are sad and frustrated, Jesus is waiting for us to give us the comfort and the rest that our heart yearns for. The ending of the gospel is beautiful. I told you at the beginning, Peter felt like a loser. He had denied Jesus 3 times. He was giving up on being fisher of men, and he wanted to go back just to be a regular fisher. How does the gospel end? Jesus asked him 3 times, Peter, do you love me? To undo the 3 times that Peter denied him. But look at what Jesus is doing. Look more carefully at what Jesus is doing. Jesus is calling Peter one more time to be his disciple. And Jesus is calling one more time Peter to be the fisher of men. He says, feed my sheep. And how does the gospel end? He says, follow me. Do you see this? This is a new vocation for Peter. It's a new calling. In spite of the way that Peter had failed miserably, Jesus is saying, I give you a new chance. Let's start over again. I call you again. One more time I make you the fisher of men that I called you to be at the beginning. And this is also a beautiful reminder that many times when we're frustrated and sad, we think about giving up on the good things that the Lord entrusted to us. That's why when a priest is sad and when a priest fails and when a priest is frustrated, he says, I'd like to go back to my old life. I'll go back to my parents' house. I'll start over again. When parents are frustrated, they say, oh, my life was much better when I didn't have kids. Much more peaceful. Spouses say, oh, I didn't have to tolerate. But what does the Lord do? He calls us again, like he called Peter. He renews us in our vocation. Because the frustration makes our vocation seem far away. But Jesus renews our calling. So today, in whatever state of life you are, here again Jesus calling you, follow me. Follow me to be a good father. Follow me to be a good mother. Follow me to be a good college student. Follow me to be a good seminarian or priest. Because that's what Jesus does. In our moments of frustration, he renews our calling to each one of us. So today, brothers and sisters, let me finish with this. I think this whole gospel is a lesson about sadness, frustration, and who do we turn to? Do we let Jesus be the one who feeds us? Do you let Jesus be the one who brings you comfort? Today is a good time to listen again to Jesus calling each one of you, follow me, calling me again, follow me, so that we might be renewed in our vocation. That this week, we may learn to turn to Jesus in our moment of sadness. And that we, this Sunday, when we receive communion, let's renew our own particular calling. Let's renew our own particular vocation in life. Let's be joyful and happy about it and give ourselves generously to it. Because even if we fail like Peter, Jesus calls us one more time.